As social restrictions begin to decrease and lockdowns are nearing their end, we're left with a sigh of relief and a shudder at the extra quarantine 15 most of us have picked up along the way. Now, needless to say, it's time to get back on the wagon and shed that extra weight. Now, here at the store, we've been proponents of a keto lifestyle for a long time, and research proves that following a low-carb diet can significantly improve your health. Sadly, symptoms like dizziness, headaches, constipation, the keto flu can accompany low-carb diets when done incorrectly, but thankfully, they have ways of being addressed and avoided. Now first, you want to make sure you're adequately hydrated. This may seem obvious, but taking the body to low-carb land does require an immense increase in hydration. When we eat normal standard American diets, rich in carbohydrates, we store on average about 500 grams of glycogen. Now this is the stored form of carbohydrate that our bodies use quickly for fast activity bouts. Now when we flip the script and begin feeding the body 80% or more protein and fat, glycogen gets used up quick within about 10 days on average, and this is why the first couple of weeks following a keto or low carb diet is so hard. With all of that glycogen being used by the body, we're relearning how to burn fat for fuel, and we begin to lose water at a rapid pace. In fact, for every gram of glycogen lost, between 3 and 4 grams of water get lost too. So obviously hydrating properly is more important than ever when switching. Doing this will improve bowel function in most cases as well. Now secondly, let's talk about another ally in your corner, salt. If we can think back to high school biology, you might remember that as water flows out of cells, salt flows closely behind. Now this can lead to headaches, decreased bowel movements, and irritability. And you might be thinking, I thought salt was bad for me. Well, no, not really. Now you do want to consult with a physician if you're concerned about increasing your salt intake if you're currently taking blood pressure medication. But to put things in perspective, the US ranks as one of the lowest countries for sodium intake, while ranking is about the highest for blood pressure issues. Just something to think about. Now next, we've got to talk about the electrolyte magnesium. When sodium depletes, potassium has some extra work to do. The issue is that potassium can be used up pretty quickly as well when adequate sodium isn't replenished, leading to a strain on the kidneys. Thankfully, this is where magnesium shines. Magnesium spares potassium in the cells and keeps us from losing too much so that cramping is kept to a minimum. And it helps reduce cramping, headaches, fatigue, and also helps with that bowel function again. Now, we can't talk about the keto diet without mentioning ketones. Now, these bioidentical supplements help to stimulate ketosis in our bodies, which helps clear up brain fog and fatigue that is so often experienced. Now, with my clients, I recommend them supplement this with MCT oil, which helps cut down the cost. Doing this regimen during your fasted window, especially, whatever that may be, helps to reduce the cravings, it increases lipolysis or fat loss, and increases mental ability. And for my fitness folks out there, we even have a keto pre-workout formula that kicks butt. Now lastly are the food choices. This goes without saying, but understand that certain foods can increase your fat loss and reduce cravings and mood swings. Animal proteins naturally contain great ratios of protein to fat, like eggs for example. And when eating a good ratio of fat to protein, 1:1 or 2:1, the hormones that control our hunger are much less powerful. Not only that, but you needn't worry in most cases about overeating these types of foods. It's very hard to overeat steak and broccoli, but the same cannot be said for bread and pasta. Our brains evolved on those types of nutrients and not on refined carbohydrates or sugars, and not even on fruits in most cultures. So don't fret if you're a vegetarian and wanting to follow this diet. There are plenty of options of those good fats and proteins for you too. Now for those questions or any others you may have regarding any of this, please schedule an appointment with one of our health coaches or come in the store today. Thanks.